Right. So if everybody's ready to get started, just give me like a thumbs up or a smile or something so I can see. All right. Okay. I am really excited about today's slideshow presentation. I don't know what these are called anymore. Keynote. That seems like very fancy. PowerPoint. I don't know. Anyway, I looked through all of the suggestions that you guys wrote me after the last call. And they don't like all flow together. I basically just picked a bunch of topics that you guys wrote in that I thought were good to talk about now. So I hope you guys don't mind that we'll be jumping around a little bit. So, because I love you guys, I got dressed up. Okay. Oh yeah, you finished your workout? That's fine. I had to switch my off day for working out. For my off day is supposed to be tomorrow, and I switched it for today because it was either work out and then look like a hot mess for our video and the other video I had to make, or switch them and actually look like a human being tonight. So, okay, I'm gonna hop right in. Give me a second to switch this to a screen share. You can still hear me? Can you thumbs up for me? Okay. Super Saturday, for those of you guys that haven't heard about it yet, it's basically a quarterly event that Beachbody does, and they happen all over the place, and so pretty much in any big city and a lot of not so big cities will be one, and they kind of range in scale depending on who's hosting it. Like the one in Tampa is going to be hosted by Lindsay Matway, and she's, top coach, so obviously like it's going to be a big one, but any coach can host a Super Saturday, so like there may be someone in a smaller town hosting one that's kind of lower scale, but everybody that hosts it gets the same information from Beachbody Corporate. So if you can't make it to the one in Tampa, just go ahead and look up whichever one is closest to you, and you can do that in the Coach Online office under events. There's a little place where you can type in like where you are and see who's registered to be hosting ones near you. And even if you don't know who that person is, or even if they're not in the Bombshell Dynasty, if they're in a different group, it's still really good to go to these Beachbody events because they usually announce stuff at Super Saturday. I think they're probably going to be talking about P90 at this one. And it's just fun because you get to meet other Beachbody coaches outside of your team, and they do like a big fun mega workout. So it's a really good place to take maybe some of your challengers or friends who are thinking about coaching, just to kind of like do a fun thing that kind of introduces them to the culture. So there is the link to get your tickets. You actually have to RSVP because it's pretty sure that Lindsay's is going to sell out. So there's the link if you guys want to write that down or screenshot it. I also posted it in the team group, so you can actually just get the real link from there. Okay, recognition time. I don't think she's on the call because she's on vacation, but Kyle went Emerald, so let's all give Kyle a little round of applause. For everybody that's new, Emerald Meet is the first promotion in Beachbody, and it means that you have signed up 2 coaches under you, one on your left leg and one on your right leg, and all 3 of you are active. So that is really exciting. When you hit Emerald, it unlocks a lot of cool possibilities for you, and if you don't know what they are, it's in your new coach training, and I also have a video explaining it on my YouTube channel, so you can go check that out. All right, last week I told you guys that everybody who hits Success Club by the 15th of this month, which is coming up, will win a special prize, and I am so impressed by everybody. This month is already really started strong. Lisa Sears is already at Success Club 12, which is like insane. And she is bouncing back from a hard month last month. I think it was safe to say it was her hardest month yet. She was really, really, really pushing and doing all the right things, and it still just didn't happen. And I think this is a really, really good example of someone not giving up and seeing what can happen, because you're basically planting seeds and then waiting for them to kind of grow so you can harvest them. And that's Lisa's points this month are exactly proof of the work that she was doing last month that didn't quite pay off before the month ended last month, but it is now paying off. So that's really exciting. But then we have all of these other people who are already on the board for Success Club. Tara Lee and Rebecca are so close. They're at 4 points each. And then we have a bunch of people with 2 points. We've got Sherry and Kyle who already have 1, so already on the board. And it's Only the second week. This is incredible. I'm really, really proud of you guys for this, and I wanted to take just 1 second to say that even if your challenge group isn't starting, it's still a good idea to be planting those seeds and following up with people all throughout the month, because you don't want to wait till the 3rd month of the week or even the 4th month of the week to go, oh crap, I have to hit Success Club, and have all of this stress and trying to like find 3 people and go back and forth with them in messages, and then getting mad at them if they don't go and buy when they say they will, because inevitably someone will tell you, yes, I'm going to go get it tonight, and then they don't. And then the Beachbody week ends and you don't qualify and you're mad. But even though that is frustrating, you could rectify that situation just by starting a little bit earlier in the month so that that pressure isn't on you so much at the very end. So everybody who's already on the board, you're doing a great job. Everybody else, I can see all of your posts and stuff, and it's great. I know that you guys are all going to get there too. So I'm really, really proud of everybody already. So all of you guys that are already on the board, and even the people who are not yet, there's no reason why you still couldn't hit it by the 15th and win the extra prize. Also, the Success Club prize this month, I think, is a P90X t-shirt for the new program, but the top 100 Success Club qualifiers, so like out of everybody in all of Beachbody, the top 100 are going to get a $100 bill from Carl Deichler, like personally. Like he's going to like send people $100 bills, which is kind of fun. So kind of another fun reason to just kind of like go all out and see what can happen in September. So the first topic I want to talk about, let me see if I can move this over a little bit. What if we just do this number? Is that okay for everybody? So everybody can see? Can you still see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to do it like this so you guys can all see and have the window not be blocked. So the first thing I want to talk about is time management. It was something that a lot of people asked me about, and I think it's a really good topic, and I think that it can kind of vary, you know, based on your life and where you're at right now and your business goals. Some of you guys, your goal is just to be kind of part-time coaches. Some of you guys, your goal is to be full-time coaches. So for each of you, you'll have your own windows of time that you can allocate for Beachbody. But this is kind of like a general, this is a good idea for everybody sort of thing. It's called Power Hour, and you may have heard other coaches talking about it or seen it in other trainings. Melanie Mitro has a really amazing video on it that I have posted in our group before, but if not, you can just look up her YouTube and find it. Power Hour is basically an hour of time that you allocate to be hyper-focused on Beachbody stuff. And basically, the idea behind this is that all you have to do is put that hour of dedicated time in, and you can get enough done that that's all you need for the day. So if you really don't have a lot of time but you want to build something substantial, then having a really, really focused power hour is something that will help you to accomplish that. So some of the things that are good to have in your power hour checklist would be to do your workout and drink Shakeology, because being a product of the product is one of our 3 things that we do every day. Doing your 10 minutes of personal development. And then after those things, I would say updating your challenge groups on Facebook, or if you have training groups or other like free clean eating groups, just going ahead and updating all of those. Answering your Facebook messages and questions that people ask you on posts, Beachbody related. So here is where the danger lies. You get on Facebook and you see that you have like 3 messages, and then, oh my gosh, there's a cute photo of my, friend from college's dog, and you like click on that. And you get sucked into the Facebook vortex of randomness. And 20 minutes later, you realize you've been scrolling your newsfeed and you never even answered the messages that you logged on to check. So for a power hour, you have to force yourself to be focused. You can't look at any of the things that are outside of your to-do list for power hour. So you get on and you answer your Facebook messages about, people asking you, about the programs, or asking you about joining a challenge, or maybe they commented on one of your posts and said like, hey, I'd love more information. So get back to those people right away, because you want to be able to answer them and not have them searching around on the internet, going to Amazon, going to eBay, all of those things. You want them to have answers from you right away. Now, I'm not saying like go crazy and as soon as you see a notification pop up on your phone, like drop your kids, drop everything and do it. But just, try and be timely about it, in like a day or 2, try and get back to them before too much time goes by. Next, answer any emails. If you have people sending you email, like if you have a specific email for Beachbody, do that. following up with potential challengers and potential coaches that maybe you were talking to the day before or earlier in the week. Go ahead and do that. And then I added this one in. It's not on all of the Power Hour things, but I think as part of our team culture it fits in, is calling, texting, or emailing encouragement to somebody that's not necessarily Beachbody related. So as a coach, one of your things is to be inspiring and to be encouraging to people. That's kind of one of like your main jobs outside of how that helps your business personally. So I think that it's good to kind of ground ourselves with that ethos by making it a habit to just encourage someone every single day without any sort of hope that it's going to turn into a sale or that they're going to be a coach. Just put that goodness out into the world and let it go. Like, pay it forward and have that be that. Like, you know what it feels like when someone just sends you a message like, hey, I was thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. And that feels so nice. And so I think it's a really good thing to do as a team. I think it can also help you to be in the right mindset all day and also just help you to connect with your friends and family and even acquaintances online so that they don't lump you in with all of those other network marketers that they feel like, oh my gosh, all my friends only care about me because they want me to buy something. Like, prove to your friends and family that you really do care about them outside of buying something from you. So I think that's a really important one. Go ahead and plan your posts on social media. Now, I know some of you are creatives like me and you like to go when the inspiration hits you, and that's awesome. But if you're finding that you can't spend enough time on Beachbody each day because you're just too spread out, then go ahead and try and plan ahead some posts or at least topics. Like, if you're the kind of person that's super right-brained and you don't like having, your creativity bottled in for the day already, then just plan topics in general. Be like, all right, I'm going to do one inspiring quote, I'm going to do something related to the 21-day fix since it's on sale, and then I'm going to do something related to trying to work out with my kids. And then kind of let inspiration hit through the day, but at least have a plan. Because what happens is if you don't have a plan, all of a sudden it's 4 in the afternoon and the time got away from you and you realize that you haven't really said anything yet online. And with Facebook affinity, you really do have to be consistent to be able to keep showing up in people's feeds. So that's that. Adding people to your network, which just can be anything. Don't be that spammy person that just adds random people on Facebook, but try and grow your network. So if you met somebody recently, find them on Facebook and just hey, it was really great meeting you at so-and-so's cookout or whatever. Just wanted to connect and have it be that. Really simple. Reconnect with old high school friends. You can kind of search through your school's alumni list and find your best friend from 4th grade and send them a friend request and oh my gosh, I can't believe I found you. Just grow your network in a really organic way. And then the 2 things that I think are hardest for most people, inviting. So in Beachbody, inviting is, the thing that everybody says, and this can be the gray area when people are I don't want to be that salesy person that's adding people to groups without their knowing. So the way that I get around that kind of awkward inviting thing is I try to make it as organic as possible. So when I say invite 2 people, I don't mean out of the blue send someone a message that you haven't already been talking to that hasn't expressed any interest and be like, hey, do you want to join my challenge group to lose weight? Because first of all, that could be offensive to them. And second, it's just really uncomfortable and it sends the wrong message that you don't care about them. You're just trying to get something from them. We talked about this a little bit last week, being a social media giver instead of a taker. This follows suit. So try and, cultivate conversations with people before you invite them to your group. But don't forget to invite. So I know that it can be kind of the thing where you feel oh, I'm having all these conversations with people. I don't know why anybody's not ordering, but you're not actually inviting them. Yes, you're talking about stuff, and yes, you're, talking to them about fitness and health, but have you actually said, I'd love to have you in my next challenge group. Would that be something you're interested in? Or do you want me to go ahead and send you the link so you can, decide and look it over and that kind of stuff? Go ahead and do that call to action. Give them the invite. People are waiting on you, to ask them to do something. They don't want to feel pushy or awkward just as much as you don't. And so be that confident coach that says, we've been talking about this. It sounds like, you're interested. I really think that this would benefit you being in this community of people. I really, really think that you'll have a good time. So let's do this. Let's get you signed up. And kind of just have that be your inviting. Same with the coach thing. I don't want you to randomly message people hey, join my business that you haven't already been talking to. But start the conversations with people and then actually follow it up with inviting them. let's see, this one. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw me post this video. I posted it on my blog and on my YouTube, but this is a little time management trick that I was taught a few years ago, and this won't work for everybody, but I was going to show it to you guys just in case it's a good fit for you. So the way that you do this, and the things that I wrote on here are from Power Hour, so you could kind of get an idea of how to break up your to-do list, is you take a piece of paper and you put it down landscape, so like, wide ways, just like the blue on the screen. And you draw a line from the top to bottom across the middle and from the left to the right across the middle. And then on the top 2 spaces, you write urgent. On the bottom 2, you write not urgent. And then on the left ones, you write important. And on the right ones, you write not important. So it creates this little, like helix of things. Urgent, important things are obviously your top priority. Urgent, not important are priority number 2 because they have to get done right away. Not important but urgent, or not urgent but important is number 3. Obviously, they're important. They need to get accomplished. Not urgent, not important should be the last things you do. So this helps me so much because I'm the kind of person who likes to not do the things that I don't want to do and fill my time doing other things and then say that I was busy all day, but I wasn't really actually being productive or being busy on the best things. So like, rather than inviting a bunch of people and answering a bunch of people's questions and following up with people, I'll design a new blog post or a new blog layout and like call that my work for the day, but it's not really effective. Does that make sense? So, for example, urgent and important, updating your challenge groups. That's something that's really important because you need your challengers to know what's happening for that day, and it's urgent. It needs to happen as soon as possible in that day so that everybody can see it. Following up in new messages, emails, I put that in urgent important. Some people don't think email should be done right away, but I think getting answers to people as quick as possible in today's day and age is really, really important because if you don't, they'll just start looking stuff up on their own, and that's when we start to lose people to other coaches, to buying something on Amazon, to buying something on Craigslist, and then they message you and they're like, I have 21-day fix, I want to join, and you're like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, I got it on Amazon Prime, and you're like, dang it. Why didn't I send her the link earlier? So getting that done is good. And then it's out of the way and it doesn't hang over your head. In the next category is things that are time sensitive, but they're not super, super duper important. So just knock them out, like one after the other after the other. Set a timer for 20 minutes and just crank out as many of these as you need to. Next is the things that are less time sensitive but highly important. So connecting with people, checking in with your downline coaches, inviting past challengers to look at coaching or to upgrade to a discount account so that they can get their future stuff for 25% off. These are important things to stay on top of. And then last can be checking our team page for updates, doing your coach training assignments, assessing your goals, how you're doing that week, what you want to accomplish the following week, planning social media content, and then like big picture things like if you are trying to start a blog or an Instagram, working on that kind of stuff. Like that's kind of the stuff that needs to come after you've finished all of those like kind of businessy related type tasks first. So I don't know if this will help everybody, but if you're visual like me, I really like it because as soon as I finish, I do this like one for each day, and then as soon as I finish number 1, I like X out that whole column like really dramatically, and it makes me feel really accomplished. So hopefully it helps somebody. All right, I want to talk a little bit now about the CEO mindset. So we're kind of jumping topics. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about what I am jokingly calling the solopreneur trap. So as coaches, we're all entrepreneurs. We're all self-employed business owners. And I think that there's a really easy trap that we can get into, and that is where we are just putting a lot of pressure and stress on ourselves for no reason. So people who are falling into the solopreneur trap, they are just trying to do every single thing themselves. They feel like they're working and working and working, but their to-do list never gets smaller. They are constantly stressed out about what they have to do. They're living in this reactive mode since they always feel like their work is never done. So they always feel like they're reacting to these problems as they arise and having to fix stuff and put out fires. And they have almost this like treading water kind of feeling. And that is exhausting and it doesn't feel good. They, rather than having a plan for how their profit and their income is going to happen, they just are sitting and hoping that it's going to happen because they're in this reactive mode. They're overly focused on perfectionism, so they have a really, really hard time getting stuff out there because they're obsessing over all the little details of it forever and ever. They do everything completely by themselves instead of asking for help or trying to delegate. And then they're workaholics, and they let their entrepreneur endeavor consume them. So they're not able to shut off. They're not able to spend time with their family outside of this. They're not able to prioritize their time. And because of that, it just becomes this huge thing in their life that takes over, and it's negative. And they never get to that success point, but they're doing all of this work. So how do we kind of avoid that? And I think that the difference is to shift to a CEO mindset. So Beachbody coaching is a non-traditional career path. Network marketing is non-traditional. It's becoming more accepted and more popular, but it's still not traditional. All growing up, you're taught, go through school, go through college, get a job, get a career. That's what you do. Like, you work 9 to 5, you make your salary, you buy a house, and you work until you retire. And so we're all taught that this is the system that we do. And so we're all taught how to be employees. And it's kind of the same thing as being a good student. So an employee attitude is I go in and I do my time. I work from 9 to 5, I clock in, I clock out, I do all my things, and I'm done. Employees work off of to-do lists from their managers, from their bosses. They don't really have a lot of freedom to, pick projects as they want. They just kind of have to do what's given to them. They report to their supervisors. They react to the things all day long that have to get done or that pop up. They do a lot of busy work to fill their time at their job so that they look like they're busy. They treat it like a job. It's just a job to them, and it's just a way for them to have money to do the things that they want to do. So it's kind of like a necessary evil, and that's kind of all they think about it as. They complain to their friends about their job and about their coworkers and about how horrible their boss is and how bad HR is and how the structure isn't great, all that kind of stuff. They follow the rules, and they're kind of taught to think inside the box. A good employee is an employee that's not making a lot of waves. So we're all programmed to work inside the rules. And employees make excuses. So when something goes wrong, they blame it on, their coworker or the situation or the timeline or whatever. This is the employee mindset. And as a Beachbody coach, you have to throw that out the window because you are technically your own CEO. And this is the potential for $1 million business. Whether that's your goal or not, this system has that potential. So you have to start thinking about it like the CEO of $1 million organization. And so CEOs, instead of having a 9 to 5 attitude, CEOs have a long-term vision. CEOs don't come to their job at 7 and clock out at 6 and that's it. CEOs have a big picture for the future of their business, where they want it to go, where they want it to take them, and that's always in the forefront of their minds. CEOs are not assigned a to-do list that they work after. They choose their own tasks. They are able to look at what needs to get done, to figure out what they need to do to accomplish those things. They self-prioritize it, and they choose what work to do. CEOs don't report to a boss because they are a boss, so they're also self-responsible. They don't have someone micromanaging them to make sure that they did their 3 vital behaviors that day or to make sure that they invited a couple people that week. CEOs realize that they're the person that's at the top. They have no one to report to, so they're responsible for making sure that they do all the things they have to do. CEOs anticipate, they don't react. So huge, multi-billion-dollar corporations, they're anticipating things. They're thinking towards the future. And I don't know if you guys all know this, but I'm also a photographer, and I work a lot in the wedding industry. And so when I want to get published, Sarah, when I want to get published in a magazine, I can't, for example, if I want to get something published in The Knot right now, I wouldn't send them summer weddings. I would send them spring weddings because The Knot is a huge organization and they're looking forward. They're anticipating spring of next year. Summer is already done for them. They're not even thinking about this stuff. They're looking ahead. So as a CEO, that's what we need to do too. As a Beachbody coach, you need to be thinking about not only what you're doing this month, but what am I going to plan for November and December? How am I going to utilize the holidays and that busy, busy time of year? How can I come up with something creative that really helps people out during that time of year when everyone pretty much every single person gains 10 pounds. Like, how can I inspire people and help them? So rather than reacting to everything that's happening right now, switching your mindset to anticipating things. Okay, employees do busy work and CEOs do income producing work. This is such a clutch mindset shift. You can be busy all day long and not get anything of substance accomplished. In today's day and age, it's really, really easy to do. And when you're self-employed, it's super easy to do because you have a to-do list that's 10 miles long, but not necessarily everything on there is an income-producing activity. So in Beachbody, what would be our income-producing activities? That would be being a product of the product, doing your personal development, and inviting. Oh, the 3 vital behaviors that you're supposed to do every single day. Makes sense. It's all coming together now, right? So these are the income-producing work. Working on your business card or, creating a prettier version of something that's already out there or, doing even free clean eating groups and free groups like that. That's all great, but it's not necessarily the income producing. So the income producing stuff has to happen first and it has to get accomplished first before you move into that other stuff. Because if you're not making any money, then there's really no point for you to be doing it. Like, there's no point for you to be working and spinning your wheels without a return. So focusing on the important things first. Employees treat it like a job and CEOs treat it like a business. There is a really common coachism that says, if you treat this like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. If you treat this like a career, it'll pay you like a career. And it's so true. It's true for everything. If you work Beachbody like a hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, it will pay you like a hobby. You'll get, a little bit of money here and there. You'll, maybe have a really good week or a really good month, but it's not consistent. But if you treat this like a career where you set a schedule for yourself and you set a daily timeline and you set your, 1-year plan, your 3-month out plan, your 6-month out plan, your 5-year plan, where are you going to be next year at Summit? You set all these things out and then you work backwards and you treat this like it's a legitimate business with a legitimate business plan, and it will actually become one for you because you're putting in that effort. CEO or employees bitch to their friends after work about how awful their job is and how awful everyone else is. CEOs brainstorm with their peers. This is definitely another mental shift. When you are having a hard time, rather than going and complaining about it, why don't you get with a success partner or get with someone else on the team that is at a similar spot to you and brainstorm ways together to combat whatever is happening. Maybe you guys are having a hard time coming up with enough challengers. So come up with a fun group that you could do together and kind of maybe make it a competition between your two teams. Which person is going to have, the highest percentage of weight loss, or which coaches, challengers are going to have the most participation. Make it fun. Brainstorm something and make that a positive way to spend your time and energy instead of just complaining about it and not actually moving forward. Employees follow all the rules, and CEOs create new rules and new systems. In photography, when I was first getting started, one of my mentors told me, learn all the rules and then break them. But don't break them before you learn them. So I've always thought the same way about Beachbody. You learn all the rules and all the systems. Everything's given to you. There's this great duplicatable system, all these awesome tools. But then if you have an amazing idea for a new rule, like a new thing to do or a new system that works better with the people that you attract, then by all means, go outside of the box and do something different. Try something new. It's people coming up with new systems like that move everybody forward. Challenge groups weren't a thing 2 or 3 years ago. That's a new system. And now look at how much everybody's benefited from that because someone thought outside of the box and decided to run with their creativity and just see what happens. Last, employees make excuses and CEOs take responsibility and learn. So when something happens that's not so great, maybe you fail at a goal, maybe you just totally mess up. There's so many times when I've just totally messed up. I've totally word vomited all over someone and they had no interest anymore. Rather than saying, well, they just weren't responsive or they just didn't take time to listen to me, I said, you know what? I probably didn't communicate as well as I could have. How can I learn how to talk to someone better in the future? And reread over that conversation, see where maybe I could have changed something or talked a little bit less about one area and more about another and learn how to grow from it. Okay, moving on. Adding coaches. This is something else that was asked about as a topic. So for all of you guys that want to be business builders, that want to build a pretty significant income, you can't really do that just based off of commissions because you're only one person and you can only sell so many challenge packs. There's only one of you. It's just, it's math and science and physics. So adding to your team is really the only way for you to kind of grow in a significant way. Now, this isn't necessarily for everybody. Some people are perfectly happy just making, a little bit of money here and there off their commissions, and that's perfectly fine. I don't want anybody to feel like they're being pushed into signing up coaches, because if that's not your goal, then that's good. So if this isn't your goal, then just go ahead and pay attention so you can learn in case your mind changes one day or in case one of your people asks you about it. But if it is, we're going to dig into a little bit about how to start growing your team when you're a new coach. So these are the Beachbody ranks. Coach is where you start. Emerald Coach is the first promotion, then Ruby, then Diamond. And underneath, you can see basically the perks that you get when you get to each new...
Rebecca?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think you can see the chat going on, but people are asking for you to make it bigger. They can't read it.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to let you know. That is it. Continue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that you, Tara Lee? Thank you, guys. Can you
No,
see?
it's Lisa.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. Can you guys see it now better? Okay. I'll also put all the slides in the group so you guys will be able to go back through like I did last time and kind of really look at everything. But this is just a little quick rundown. I didn't want to spend too much time on this because you can find this online yourselves. But just to show you, why should you rank advanced? Because there are benefits that really help you to grow your business. Sometimes people are like, why should I do all the extra work of starting a team, having to help them learn how to be coaches too, take on all of this extra responsibility, have to become a leader, all this stuff? Well, it really can be worth it when you are committed to doing it. So when you move from a coach to an Emerald Coach, all of you guys know that's when you can start earning team bonus cycles based on your volume. Ruby Coach, you earn more team cycle bonuses, and you can then earn a matching bonus. And you guys can kind of all look up what all of these things are individually. It would take too long to go into each thing in our call. And then when you're a Diamond, you can get more team cycle bonuses. You can get a bigger matching bonus. You get access to the Coach Connection Lead Program, which is basically just like customer leads, but instead of getting customer leads, you're getting coach leads. So you could randomly get assigned a new coach when somebody goes to Beachbody's website and is like, I want to be a coach. And they sign up there. Beachbody doles those out just like they dole out the people who buy stuff from the infomercials. Once you're a Diamond Coach, you also start to be able to qualify for Star Diamond bonuses, and you are able to open up multiple business centers, which just the really quick explanation of that is you get to sign up as a coach under yourself. So you basically get yourself as a coach, and you can start putting people in 2 different places and earning volume off of both of those places, which basically just multiplies all of your income. So that's kind of a quick rundown of why advancing is nice. So I know that everyone's like, yeah, that's great, but how do I actually get people to sign up so I can grow? So I'm going to kind of go over some basics. So there are kind of 2 ways that you can talk to people about coaching, and that's leading with the discount and leading with the business opportunity. And I think that both of them are good, and I think that you should basically decide which one to go with based on the person. You know them, you know their situation, and so you can kind of pick which route is best to take. So leading with the discount is what we're going to talk about first. This is good for challengers that you have who want to keep going with you into another challenge group, or they want to keep going with Shakeology. Any customers that you have that are on Shakeology HD at the regular price and they're still ordering, month after month after month. And anyone that comes to you and wants to commit to a fit lifestyle, and you can tell by talking to them that they want this to be something that lasts, that it's not just a month-long thing that they're doing. They really want to make a change. So these are kind of who you can lead with the discount with. Some times that are good to do it. For your challengers that want to continue on, the 2nd to 3rd week of your challenge group is a really good time to talk about it, because that's about the time that everyone's next order of Shakeology should be coming out. So I actually think you're doing a disservice to your challengers if you don't bring up the coach option for them at this point, because you're basically robbing the people who would be interested in it of their discount. You can keep it really light. You can just say, hey, we're 2 to 3 weeks in. All of you guys are going to get a new order of Shakeology soon. I know that you love it and you want to stay on it, so I'd be more than happy to help you get 25% off of it. Just let me know if you want me to help you get, changed to a coach account. And then when they message you, you can kind of go into more of the details and how they sign up and all that stuff. But it's really, really simple to kind of just show that to them. For your challengers that kind of complete everything and they want to keep going, or you can tell that, a fit lifestyle is something that they want to keep going with, after the challenge ends, you can reach out to those people who are really active and say, hey, you were super active in the challenge group. You've been talking about trying PIO next. Have you considered upgrading your account to a coach account so that you can get that 25% discount on stuff from here on out? Like, you might as well, if you're going to be buying this stuff anyway, get the discount and have them talk to you about it. And then lastly, I actually lead from the very beginning sometimes with it if it's someone who is telling me that they want to be doing this for a while. So every now and then I'll have someone who's like, yeah, I want to do 21-day fix, and then, I want to do PIO next, and, later this year I might try T25. And if that's something that they're telling me, then I say, okay, you need to sign up from the very beginning when you buy your challenge pack. Sign up as a coach. Then your coach fee is waived. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to worry about anything, and literally everything else you order from that point on, you'll get the discount on. That's such a great option for those people, and so many of them it's a really good fit for. So it's easy to lead from the very beginning when people, you can kind of get a vibe from them that they're going to be doing this for a while. Okay, leading with the business. Now this, I think, is the one that people are always a little bit more scared about and hesitant about, but it's really, really not that difficult, and there's some really easy times to be able to talk about it. So this is a good option for a friend or a contact who's expressed interest to you in coaching. So someone who maybe says like, hey, tell me more about what you're doing, or they've said like, hey, yeah, I've thought about coaching, and they kind of leave it open-ended like that. Anyone who went through a coach sneak peek group with you, or, like watched one of the business opportunity webinars with you or anything like that. Anyone who you're talking to that wants to join a challenge group but says that they don't have the money. And anyone that you just have a feeling they would be a really great coach. You shouldn't be afraid to say that, hey, I think you would be a really good coach. Have you even ever considered this? And kind of just let the conversation go from there. So some good times to bring it up. When you tell someone about ordering a challenge pack, if you think that they're going to be a great coach, if they've expressed interest in coaching, or if they say like they're afraid to do all this stuff because they feel like they can't afford it, then you can tell them about the business opportunity from the very beginning. Tell them, hey, if you can find like 3 friends, then you've pretty much already covered the cost of your stuff. So do you have 3 friends that you think would do this with you? So if so, we can sign you up as a coach, and you can get the commissions on their orders, and then you'll also get a discount for all your future stuff. So that can help you save some money. You can explain how their coach fee will be waived if they sign up as a coach from the beginning when they purchase their challenge pack. For a lot of people, they just want it as simple as possible, So to be like, hey, if you do this from the very beginning, they waive your coach fee. You don't have to submit any forms. You don't have to do anything. Like, it's all done at one time, and that's the end. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. And for a lot of people, they love that. They love like that one-stop kind of shop deal. And then another thing that you should do is after every challenge, you should contact the challengers that you saw really rise up in the group as leaders. The people who were like in the group answering other people's questions, inspiring other people, like maybe they were posting their own inspirational quotes and photos. Contact them and talk to them a little bit about it, just be like, hey, you realize you were kind of already coaching, like you could get paid to do the same thing, right? And just tell them that you think they might be good at it and ask them if they've considered it. I know this is small, so I'm going to put this slide in the thing and you guys can read all through it, but this is just some verbiage ideas to give you guys a little idea of how I talk about stuff with people, to maybe give you a jumping off point for your own conversations. Leading with the discount from the very start, basically just telling them, like I said before, if this is a healthy lifestyle thing that you're going to do for more than a month, then I really think that you should consider the discount, kind of going from there. During or after a challenge, the same thing, saying like, hey, if you want to stay on Shakeology, if you want to try another program, let's get you upgraded to the coach discount. And if they started with a challenge pack, which all of your challengers should, since they should be buying a challenge pack from you to get into your group, they actually can have their $39 coach sign-up fee waived. They can have it returned to them if they refunded to them when they sign up as soon as they show proof that they ordered a challenge pack. So it ends up being free for them to sign up as a coach. For leading with the business for a really active challenger, this is kind of echoing what I said a minute ago, just saying you're so inspiring in our group. I love that you're encouraging everyone and posting inspiring things all the time. Everyone can always count on you. And you're making my job super easy. Have you considered being a coach yourself? Because you're basically already doing the actions in our group, but you could be making money to do the same things. No pressure, of course. I just wanted to let you know that you're really inspiring, and I think you'd be a fantastic coach and inspire a lot of other people too. For interested friends, you could say, hey, I know you were in our sneak peek group this week. Or you could say, I know we've already been talking about this, or whatever it is in your situation. You've had some great questions. I really respect that you're taking the time to investigate if this is a good option for you. I think you'd be really good at it, and I'd love to have you on our team working towards your own goals and dreams alongside me. Are there any other questions or concerns holding you back that we could talk about? I'm happy to share as much from my own experience with you as you'd like. And just let them kind of lead the conversation from there. Just be open for whatever they have, because this, for a lot of people, is the business side of it is a big decision, and they want to make sure that they're ready for it. So just kind of be open to share as much as they want. Okay, so this is like a funny little example that I was told that I wanted to share with you. So a lot of times everyone's scared to ask people if they want to sign up as a coach. But a really great, and they're scared for all different reasons. They're afraid they're going to make their friends angry, or that they're going to be annoying or salesy, or that their friends are going to feel like, they're trying to be tricked into joining, or whatever the reasons are. But you kind of have to shift your mentality to thinking like a waiter. When a waiter comes to your table and says, hey, would you like some coffee? And you look at him and go, no. Does that waiter turn around and start crying and say I suck at being a waiter. I don't know why I'm doing this. Nobody wants any of my coffee. I have this whole pot of coffee and I have nothing to do with it. I suck. I'm quitting. No, the waiter says, okay. And they turn around and they go to the next table and they say, hey, do any of you guys want some coffee? And they keep doing that all day long because that's what waiters do, and that's how they get rid of all the coffee. So you kind of have to think of it the same way. When someone says no, they don't want to be a coach, they're not telling you, no, you're a horrible person, or no, I don't want to be your friend anymore, or no, I think you're stupid. They're telling you, no, I just don't want to be a coach. Just like you may not be in the mood for coffee right at that moment. And you kind of have to have that same mentality of saying okay, that's cool. I just thought, maybe you would want to be a coach. Just thought maybe you might want some coffee. You looked like you wanted some coffee, but it's totally cool if you don't. And then you just kind of move on to the next person. So when you start to get all worked up in your head with fear, just channel your inner waiter and pretend that you're asking people if they want coffee when you ask them about coaching. It doesn't have to be a scary, big thing. Okay, now on to what to do if you're feeling discouraged, because this happens to everybody. I think that sometimes in coaching, it's really easy to forget that this is a business, because you see so many people doing well, and you see so many positive people because this is a really positive community, and it can be hard to remember that building businesses to a successful point takes time. Any other business that you start, any other franchise that you buy, you can pretty much expect to be in the red for the first few years. Beachbody is an anomaly for the fact that you can sometimes be in the green in your first week or two. That's so rare in a business, because our startup and overhead costs as Beachbody coaches are so low that you don't have this huge risk like you would if you opened, a yogurt land or something. And so for everybody else that's a business owner, they kind of understand that it takes time. But I think sometimes with coaches, it can be hard to remember that, especially when you see other people success happening a lot faster for them than it's happening for you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this. This is a chart that looks really fancy, but it's basically the success curve. And if any of you have already read The Slight Edge, this should look familiar to you, because this is what they talk about in the book. This chart is basically showing you, okay, the black dot on the left is where you start. I added the purgatory thing, by the way. That's not actually in the chart. The blue is a positive success curve, and the red is a negative success curve. So basically what this chart shows you is if you are doing consistent action to move yourself forward every day over time, not stopping, this whole little purgatory area is where you're doing the same things consistently every day, and this is a 1% curve, basically, a 1% success curve. So you're doing all these things, and you're not noticing any sort of change, any sort of difference. And maybe you're thinking like, this isn't working. I'm doing all the right things and nothing's happening. But the truth is that something is happening, you just can't see it yet. And so if you keep seeing where the curve starts to slowly go up and then all of a sudden it spikes at the end, that's basically like what happens when you get a huge momentum boost. It's kind of the same idea as compound interest. So if you start with a penny and you double it every single day, for that first long time, you're only going to have, like cents and a few dollars. But once you get to $1,000 and you're doubling it and it's 2,000, and then you're getting up into 10,000 and you're doubling it and it's, like just going up crazy. That's where that spike is. Oh, excuse me. So for everybody that's discouraged, and it happens to everybody, it happens to me, it has happened to me. It comes in waves, like sometimes you feel discouraged for no good reason. Sometimes it's because you're having a slow week or a slow month. But you have to remember that the curve does go up if you keep at it. So the red line, geez, I have a frog in my throat. Sorry, guys. The red line is a negative success curve. So this, for example, would be somebody who is maybe not doing those things every single day, or they're not doing them to the level that they should be doing. So in the beginning, let's say like 2 coaches start out. One coach does the 3 vital behaviors every single day. They read 10 minutes of personal development. They do their workout every single day. They invite people every single day. And it's this slow ramp up. But a year and a half, 2 years later, they're way over here. Now let's say another coach starts. Maybe they skip personal development half the time. They only do their workouts half the time. They only invite people every now and then. And in this beginning time, you really can't tell that big of a difference between the 2 people's businesses. But as time goes on, the one coach is doing all of those things. Those seeds are starting to plant. The time that they're investing is starting to show returns. This person is having the same thing, but on the negative side. They haven't invited as many people, so they don't have as many people who've turned into business building coaches that they've been able to help succeed. They haven't been consistent with their workouts, so maybe they're not in as good a shape as they wanted to be, so they're not able to communicate that fit lifestyle as well as they wanted to, and people kind of don't believe in them or the product that they're talking about. So you can kind of see how over time it can go either way. And then I wanted to show you a few little things about discouragement that help me when I get discouraged. So sometimes I get discouraged because I fail at something that I try and it's just a huge flop, or because I miss a goal that I have for myself. So, like that could be like hitting a promotion by a certain time, or hitting a certain number of Success Club points, or qualifying for something. But one of the things I've learned a lot through just personal development and going through the experience is that failing forward is really the only thing you can do. So you have to use that failure to learn and grow and become better the next time. There's a quote from Tom that is from Tom of him as creating the light bulb, which is this amazing, technological achievement. But what a lot of people don't realize is that he attempted to create a light bulb and failed thousands and thousands and thousands of times before he finally got the right configuration that worked. And when somebody asked him about it, there's this really famous quote where he replied and said, "I haven't actually failed at creating light bulb. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work to make one." And I thought that was a really brilliant way of looking at it. Obviously, he's a genius, but there really is no failure. Failure is really just a way to learn. Going on to the next one. The only factor that separates you right now from the coaches that you view as successful is that they've been doing it consistently for a longer time than you have. They don't have any sort of secret sauce. They don't have any sort of special, insight that you don't have. You're given the same exact tools as they are and the same exact systems to learn from. The only difference is that they've just done it consistently for a longer time than you. That's it. The only reason Lindsay Matway is a millionaire right now and you're not is because she's been doing this every day for the last 3 years and you haven't. Like, that's really the only thing that separates you. She doesn't have some sort of special magical talent, except, her teeth are, really beautifully bright when she smiles. But, that's not what makes her a millionaire. That's just something that makes her cool. But, there's not really some sort of it factor that you're missing that these other people have. And with social media, it can be so easy to wonder why these other people are so successful and you're not, especially because everybody seems really successful on social media. But really, you have to remember that with network marketing, the only difference is time. That's it. Because that's how this business grows, is compounding over time. So you just have to remember that you have to keep doing the same things consistently over time, and you're going to get to that point of success as well. So if you hit discouragement and you just can't pull yourself out of it, you look at all the inspirational posts on Pinterest, you can't pull yourself out of it, and you're thinking like, I don't know what to do, I can't get out of this funk, then what I would say is go down to the very basics. Stop focusing on, creating a blog brand or an Instagram theme or all of the fanciness, and just focus on the 3 very, very basic things to be a successful coach. That's doing your workout in Shakeology, working on yourself through personal development, and inviting people to join you on this journey. If that's all you can do every day, those 3 things, then that's fine. If you have to do that for a while and just take a little break from everything else, that's okay. Just keep with those 3 kind of core things and you'll come out of the funk. I know you will. I found this quote that I really liked. Success is neither magic nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. And this, can translate to sports, to getting better at any sort of skill, and to, becoming a successful Beachbody coach. Last, if you're feeling completely poured out, drained, fizzled out, then here are some books that I recommend to refill your own personal well so that you can start re-pouring out into other people. The Slight Edge is always like my first one that I recommend for everybody because I think that it's so brilliant. Developing the Leader Within You is really great for those of you that actually want to build a team. There's some really, really, really good stuff in there about how to become a better leader. I Declare by Joel Osteen is really good, and I know that a lot of people are segregated on liking or disliking Joel Osteen, and I could really care less about him, but what I liked from the book is it's basically a devotional, and there's 31 declarations, and then each one comes with like a chapter that goes into depth about that. So if you're not into Joel Osteen or you're not religious, then I still think that you can get a lot from the book by just reading the declarations, one each day out loud, because they're basically just positive thinking affirmations, and they're really, really phenomenal. The Compound Effect is similar to the Slight Edge, same kind of concept. EntreLeadership by Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's the man. Everything he says, I'm convinced, is sheer brilliance. And this is basically his book kind of that's more about business. John Acuff is hilarious. Start is a really good book just about sucking it up and getting going, basically, to paraphrase it. Dale Carnegie, his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is like one of the all-time bestseller business books. It just talks about, how to become a better person that people trust and look up to. And then Great by Choice, which talks about how people come out ahead even when they have hard struggles or challenges. So these are all really good books when you're feeling discouraged. Okay. I am going to take it off of screen share, and so you guys can all unmute your mics. And, I couldn't see the whole chat the whole time. That's probably why everybody kept laughing. I was being self-conscious that you guys were laughing at me. Look at everybody's beautiful faces. Okay, unmute your mics, and let's all have a little bit of time to chat. If anybody has to go, it's 10:30. I want to honor your time. Don't feel like you have to stay if you need to go. Thank you for being here, but if you want to stay, we'll just have a little chat time and question and answer time.